Here. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, B. I don't know where are you, but thank you. Well, as she said, my name is Mercedes. I'm 50 years old this year. And I became a disciple almost a year ago on Mother's Day, May 11 last year. So I will share with you a little bit of my journey with God and, a little bit about my life. I was born and raised in Argentina in a Catholic family who followed traditions of previous generations. But I didn't really have a relationship with God. When I was 10 years old, my parents got divorced, and my father moved to California. So, not by choice, I became the strong one in the family to support my mom and my sister, who both fell into depression. So I learned how to problem solve and be independent. And years after, when I was 19, I moved to California to finish my studies and work alone with my dad in his business. But he had already a new family, so to be honest, I didn't have a strong bond with him. I didn't really know him. So, by that time, I never thought of the impact that not growing up with a father figure, a male role model, a protector, will have in my life and my choices. But most importantly, I never thought of how much impact it will have in my life and my choices not to have a relationship with my real father, my creator, my God. So a few years after of being there, I met my ex-husband and we started dating. And months later, he moved in with me. He claimed himself to be a believer, but his actions didn't really reflect that. And he used God to manipulate me. Soon after, the physical and emotional abuse began. He was very controlling, aggressive, and I was so afraid that I started shutting down. We have 2 boys who also became victims of the abuse. Nobody really knew what was going on at home. And the abuse cycle repeated over and over for 20 years. The abuse cycle has 4 stages. First, the tensions build, where the abuser creates tension and the survivor's stress builds up. Then the incident, when the abuser lashes out through verbal, or sexual abuse. Then comes the reconciliation, where the abuser makes excuses and attempts to apologize, but really nothing changes, like pretending that nothing happened. And then the calm comes, which is very peaceful, and sometimes even better than before. And that's when the victim thinks, oh, he's going to change, everything is going to be okay. And I explain this to you, ladies, because you might be in a relationship like this, not only with a partner, but this kind of relationships exist with parents and children, among siblings, at work, even in friendships. And if you have questions about this, you can talk to me after. I would love to help. So during those years, fear drove my life, and I completely lost the joy of living. However, I never stopped praying, and I lost hope that God could deliver us from this. In 2018, we're talking about almost 20 years after, when things were out of control, extremely out of control, I decided to report him to the police and file for divorce. But even though I was free from the abuse, the story didn't end there. My children were still in a relationship with him, and the abuse continued. Finally, in 2025, a year ago, after 25 years of praying and not losing hope, God delivered us, all of us, from it. We made a plan to run away, report him, and never came back to an abusive, evil, and dark life that we had. It was enough. So I had to be honest. I had moments through those years that I thought that I would be like Moses in the Bible, that he died before seeing the promised land. I said, maybe I would die without seeing my kids completely free. I thought my kids will grow up and set a boundary, somehow as they're adults. So we were all free now, and months passed, and even I had my miracle, the joy was not there. I felt lonely, sad, depressed. I was trapped in a routine. It was really hard to find purpose. So for 20-something years, I was a victim. And when the abuse was over, I became a survivor. Which was already a win, because many women don't really make it. I was a survivor, but with a victim mentality. But God had other plans for me. As Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." And then the real miracle happened. Both of my children studied the Bible and got baptized. And they encouraged me to do the same. So I did. I started studying the Bible and having a relationship with God. My mind changed. My mindset changed. I was transformed from the inside out, and I found my purpose. God started healing my heart and gave me reasons to keep going. In that moment, I realized He was not done with me. I went from emptiness and sadness to fulfillment and joy. The Bible says in John 10:10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy, but I have come that may have life and have it to the full." When I got baptized, I started living my life to the full. And I went from being a survivor to an overcomer. So I'll explain briefly the difference. A survivor is someone who endures hardship, often bearing the wounds and continuing to struggle. While an overcomer is someone who defeats the challenge, rises above it, and flourishes. Survivors focus on the battle, but overcomers focus on healing and victory. And you may wonder how you do that, right? Well, the Bible says in John 16:33, "I have told you all this so that's Jesus speaking. I have told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth, you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart, because I have overcome the world." So how did I do it? I put the trust in Jesus. He's the one who overcame the world, died for me on the cross, and defeated death when He rose again. So I have a question for you, ladies. Who are you today? Are you a victim, a slave of sin, as I was for over 20 years? Are you a survivor, reviving the hurt of the past over and over, and full of wounds that are still bleeding? Or are you an overcomer, a woman who's not defined by her past, but is focusing on healing and victory? Today, I encourage you to study the Bible if you haven't started yet. Have a relationship with God and start living your life to the full, as the Bible says. Don't be a victim anymore, not a survivor, but an overcomer like Jesus. Now I will have my beautiful sister Lisa to come and sing a song that really describes what I just talked about. I encourage you to sing it all. And thanks again for the opportunity to share my testimony. To God be all the glory.